Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance. My name's Alicia and I'll be bringing you a report on the new moon in Gemini, which will be a super new moon. And this new moon is going to be all about our connections. So this new moon will be happening at 22 degrees of Gemini on the 14th of June at 5:43 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be connecting to how we connect to ourselves, what conversations do we have with ourselves, how we connect to other people, how we connect to the world and what we show the world. So this new moon is going to be quite exciting. Okay, so at this new moon in Gemini, we've got a bit of a 222 theme happening with the planets at the moment being 22 degrees, 20 degrees, 2 degrees. So if we look at what that means, as an angel number 222 means that everything's working out as it's supposed to for everyone involved, and just to let go and have faith, really. So that's a bit exciting to have that little bit of an aspect happening with the planets at the moment. So with this new moon, it's going to be about connecting to ourselves, who we truly are, and how we connect to other people from that place. And if we look at, say, the polarity point in Sagittarius, where we had the full moon a couple of weeks ago, it's about being in our higher truth and being in our truth. And so what can we apply at this new moon from our higher truth to how we connect to ourselves and how we connect to other people? Because it's so important how we connect to ourselves. The relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship, and when we're in a good place there, then we can connect to other people better and learn better and be in our highest good. So at this new moon, try and find ways to connect to yourself better, as that is the way this whole planetary circulation is kind of heading towards at the moment. So if we look at the ruler of this new moon, which is Gemini, which is Mercury, and Mercury is going to be in Cancer, in the early degrees of Cancer. So that means that's nurturing communication, and that is all going to be in a stellium at this new moon. So it'll be the Sun, the Moon and Mercury, but Mercury will be in Cancer. So those nurturing conversations with ourselves are so important. And it also can be healing communications with a female figure, with even your own divine feminine. It could even be with your mother, conversations with your mother that brings about healing. There are so many people on the planet that are wounded from a perspective of the mother feeling separate, or whatever circumstances that have happened in your childhood or your situations in life. So at this new moon, it is a really great time to have healing conversations, even if it is with yourself. So if somebody that you would like to heal things with isn't available to have those connections with, you can do that with yourself. So you can release yourself from that circumstance. So you're not sitting there imprisoned or still being hurt over and over and over again from circumstances or conversations, situations, anything that's happened. So it's a really good time at this new moon to just sit down with yourself and have that conversation as well. It doesn't have to be something that's actually, you know, done in the 3D or done in the physical aspect. So another aspect that's going to be tied in with that theme of healing communications with the mother is Chiron in Aries. So as I've said in previous videos, Chiron was in Pisces, which is kind of healing in the spiritual world, healing as a soul. And then when Chiron went into Aries, it's like being birthed onto this physical plane, so being birthed onto this planet. And so many of us have come in wounded, come in feeling separate, coming into generations and generations of just conditioned ways of living that did not serve us as a soul. So if we look at that with that Chiron in Aries being a wounded new baby, and then that making aspects out to Mercury in Cancer, which is, say, communications with the mother, this also can be something that brings about that change, brings about that healing, because it is a square. So squares are tension, and it's bringing up tension, so then those emotions and those feelings come to the surface so they can be released. So we can be in our strength, we can be in our heart space, and we can love and receive love, because when we're in a place of being wounded, we can't love anyone, we can't even receive love. So with this aspect and all these things pushing to communication, pushing to healing ourselves and going to the core of our issues and the core of our wounding, this aspect comes along really nicely. And it also goes out to, Mercury also goes out to Uranus in Taurus. So that again is healing the physical, healing that physical pain, healing that traumatic pain. It could be physical pain, it could be something where you were physically abused even. So it's a very, very nice, stable, harmonizing aspect that will also be guiding that healing process coming through at this new moon. And just to add to the Mercury in Cancer, with the whole theme of Mercury and Gemini and healing, we have Mercury in Cancer opposite Saturn retrograde. So as I've explained in previous videos, Saturn retrograde is going in and breaking down internal structures that we've built inside ourselves to protect ourselves or to help survive out on this planet. So what we're needing to do is break down all those structures and have an open heart and come from our heart space. So that going out again to Mercury in Cancer, which is nurturing communication, like nurturing conversations with yourself, nurturing conversations with other people, healing and breaking down old structures that have happened. Because if we think about it, the past doesn't exist anymore. We just replay it over and over and over in our minds, and our body can't tell the difference whether it's happening right in front of us or it's something from the past. We're constantly traumatizing ourselves with past situations, and what we need to do at this time is to break down that old structure, because the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. All we've got is right now. And if you can be in a place where you've broken down or breaking down some of those old structures, where you're in a place of love within yourself, you're going to thrive more in life, and you're going to attract more of what you want to you. So again, with Mercury in Cancer going out to Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, this is reinforcing again that we need to break down these old structures. And I would like to say a shout out to all the mums that are going against social norms when it comes to raising children these days. It's actually really not an easy thing to do. There's so many people and so many structures in our society that kind of enforce the kind of generational conditioning that we've had for so long, and so many mums, my sister included, going against the grain and bringing up that issue of, hey, let's connect to emotions, let's connect to and honor our children's emotions and what they need and who they need to be. Not just children are seen and not heard, and children just have to fit in with the parents' lifestyle. I don't think it's like that. We need to cherish our children and put them in a place where they're their own individuals with individual needs, and having emotions emotions is perfectly safe and perfectly necessary. And if we are teaching children from a young age that it's okay to have their feelings, that it's okay to be who they are, that they don't need to fit into a box that school wants them to fit in, that society wants them to fit into, or social standards want you to fit in, then we're not dealing with traumatized adults that have, you know, low self-esteem, no self-worth, and are just struggling day to day in society. So I would just like to say to all the mums out there that are doing this, you are doing a fantastic job, and without you we wouldn't be able to bring about the change that we need. Okay, so moving on from Mercury. So we have Mars in Aquarius that is and will be conjunct the South Node. Now, if we look at what Aquarius is like radical change, taking a view that's from a higher perspective, what's best for the collective, and what we need to change and transfer to bring about the new, bring about where we're going as a collective in general. And if we put Mars, our desires, and the masculine there, it's where do we need to change in our desires? What needs to break down? What is being brought forth from the past that needs to change as we go forward? And this aspect is probably going to affect the masculine more, like we all have feminine, masculine within us, but there are people that more identify with the masculine. And if you're one of those, this is going to be quite a tough time for you, especially when Mars goes retrograde the 26th of June. So what we're needing to do is heal the masculine and get the masculine out of that survival mode. So in the past, when the feminine has been wounded, this has also wounded the masculine and put the masculine in a place where, you know, they're in survival mode, they're in their anger, they're in their pain, and they're not necessarily thinking about what's best for themselves or best for the collective or best for, you know, anyone in general. So it's a really great time, if you identify with the masculine, or if you identify with your desires and passions, to really take a rain check and look at, hey, is how I'm operating serving me? Is how I'm operating serving everybody else in the collective? And what do I need to change about this to make my life better, to make other people's lives better, so we can move forward as a whole? Because if we look at it from the polarity point of the North Node in Leo, which is our heart space, and we're also going to be having Venus over there at 29 degrees of Cancer. So how can we be more in our heart space? How can our masculine side, or the masculine, or our desires be more in our heart space, coming from a place of love, not just I want this, I'm going to take this, I don't care what I affect. It's no, come from a place that will actually serve you, not something that's just going to dissipate as soon as you get it because you're wounded. So this is going to be quite a tough time when it goes retrograde. But all in all, like every tough aspect, we always come out better. We always come out stronger. It's kind of like the phoenix, you know, burning in the ashes and then being reborn. So yes, keep in mind 26th of June, we are going to be experiencing Mars going retrograde at the South Node. So for all the twin flamers out there, there's an aspect for you at this new moon in Gemini, as Gemini represents twins. And as we will be having the polarity of Mars opposite Venus, it is a bit wide, but it is still going on with the South Node and the North Node. So Mars is at the South Node, which is the past, and Venus is at the North Node, which is the future. So they are opposing each other at this time, and with the new moon in Gemini representing twins. And we also have the fantastic aspect of Jupiter in Scorpio trining out to Pisces in Neptune. So that's universal healing. So I think for the twin flamers out there, we need to look at it in the perspective of there's a lot of healing going on for the masculine right now. The masculine is being recalibrated, going over past wounds so they can connect to themselves better, so they can connect to you better. But that doesn't mean you're just sitting there doing nothing if you're more in the feminine. You know, you've got a lot of work to do within yourself and healing your masculine wounds and healing your wounds to your own feminine and being more in your feminine and connecting more to the mother, connecting more to that feminine role as well, if that's what you identify with. So there is a lot of healing going on, and with this full moon meaning healing connections, it is a great time to reach out and, you know, and say how you feel or connect to that person in another way. And because Venus and Mars are in that polarity, you need to meet each other in the middle somewhere. Do you know what I mean? There's no point totally reaching out and being that 100% Venus or being that 100% Mars. There needs to be a happy medium for that healing, for that connection to occur. So if they can both come to the polarity point of coming together and communicating and being in that heart space, it is a really great time, especially because it's a new moon, new intentions, new start. So for all those people that are dealing with separation with twin flames, runner twin flames, just arguments and not being able to come together, this is a good time to come together. Because if you think about it, you're connected from a point, from a spiritual point, a mindset point, a heart set point. And in the physical, it's all the stuff in between that's stopping you from coming together. It's all that wounding. So if you can both heal that at this time and be a massive support for each other, you know, that union is going to be one that is just absolutely magical. And, you know, one of the most exciting things on this planet that there is right now. So yes, there's an update for the twin flames. Also, I want to touch on with this new moon, it's going out to be in conjunct to Pluto. And Pluto is transformation, so, and it's also power, internal power. So we need to internally empower ourselves and transform and connect to people how we need to connect to ourselves how we need to connect. You know, no more putting up masks and being somebody else to fit into society and to connect with other people. You will find the people that you need to connect with by being who you truly are. Don't worry about what generations and generations have put upon us or what you want to do to fit in to make people like you, because those people you're trying to impress are probably trying to impress other people you wouldn't even hang out with or like. So impress yourself, connect to yourself and be exactly who you are, and then you will connect to the people that you need in your life, that you want in your life, that make your life better. So if I can say anything at this new moon, it would just be come home to you. Heal what you need to heal, but just come home and be that voice of nurturing to yourself. So like all new moons, I would just like to say, if this video resonated with you in some way, please subscribe to my channel, or if you feel that this could help somebody, please share it. All in all, many soul journey blessings, and have a fantastic new moon in Gemini.